Ace Podcast.
This is the Super Co-op Squad video game podcast and our Incredible 2 review.
Incredibles. There's multiple
Incredibles.
of them.
Hello, one and all, and welcome to an incredible episode of our podcast. This is the Super Co-op Squad, and we are having our review of The Incredibles 2. I am here with my fellow co-hosts, my good friends, Garrett Laney.
Mr. Garrett Laney. Incredible.
And Joshua Gerard.
The incredibly handsome Joshua Gerard.
Nobody says that. No one thinks that.
I disagree with you wholeheartedly.
Your mom and maybe your dad. And I don't think your dad would.
And that's one step up from what you said. So, booyah.
He'll take it. You guys all know me. I am Johnny Mac, and sitting here to my left as a special guest on this episode is Vivi Mac.
Hello.
So nice to have you back. So before we get into this podcast episode, keep in mind this is a full review of Incredibles 2, so we will be spoiling everything. All the incredible things. I'm sure we're going to say the word incredible quite a bit. So be prepared for that. If you haven't seen the movie, pause right now, go watch the movie, finish the movie.
It's been 14 years. You don't need to make it any longer.
Yeah, go ahead and get this done. Then come back, listen to the episode. All right, so as Garrett stated, it has been 14 long years since we have had an Incredibles movie. The original came out in 2004. Of course, these are films in the Pixar, from Pixar Studios. I don't know what number film this is for them. Does anyone know that off the top of their head?
No, I'm not counting. I'm just watching them.
I'll look it up. But this is far. I think this is in the 20s now. For films for them, this is only, I think, the fourth or fifth film that is a sequel. They've done very few of those, so this is still kind of new territory for them. Before we get into the full review of the film, though, expectations going into the film. What were you guys' thoughts in regards to Incredibles 2? Did you care? Did you not care? What were you thinking?
I cared very much. I was very excited to watch The Incredibles 2. Me being the big Disney fan I am, and I love superheroes. I love the movie The Incredibles, and I was really excited to see what the Incredible family was up to next.
All right, I'm gonna set a quick stage. So I don't recall seeing the first movie in such a long time. I didn't really remember any of it. So my objective was watch the first movie before you watch the second movie. Came down to it, I didn't end up watching the movie the night before. So I wake up really early in the morning, like 5 a.m. early. I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I said, you know what? Let me just...
Why is this relevant?
After that, I was like, let me just take a peek at the movie. I take a peek at the first movie, and then I end up watching the whole movie at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So my expectations after that was like, damn, I gotta go see the second movie.
You came around there.
You never let me finish the story. It always comes around. It's always a little awkward at first and then really cringy in the middle.
Yeah, you brought us to the bathroom, man.
We don't want to hear those kind of stories.
But it ended good.
Vivi, what were your thoughts?
Well, I barely watched the first one also. I watched it like 2 years ago when you made me watch it.
Actually, it was less than that. It was,
wasn't it last year?
It was this year, I think. we downloaded it.
I think it was last year.
Okay. Well, fine then.
But yeah, I liked it and it was fun, but I'm not a fanatic like Garrett or a critic like you.
It's fair.
So
But
I was just going in to enjoy it.
Okay. Cool.
And I did.
Yeah, for my part, I was pretty excited for it. It had been a long time coming. 14 years is a long time for a sequel. Star Wars, Blade Runner, some of the only things that I can think of that passed 14 years between sequels. But yeah, I was pretty excited. And, I think for the most part, it lived up. We'll get into that in a little bit. Movie-going experience. Where'd you guys watch it? How was the crowd? Did that enhance anything or detract from your, experience?
For me, I watched it in my usual go-to AMC. I didn't end up paying for it. I had a free movie voucher ticket for the last movie I saw. I saw Deadpool 2 cut off in the middle of the movie. I honestly thought that was part of the movie.
Because it's Deadpool.
Because it's Deadpool. So they gave me a free movie voucher, and I went up there and said, I'm here to see Incredibles 2, and they set me up with a ticket.
Nice.
I don't remember what theater I went to. I went with my dad and my brother. So my brother wanted to go, and my dad was like, well, you're not going to invite me? So I was like, yeah, I'm going to invite you. Wink, wink. And so I invited him. Theater was okay. Usually seats are kind of amped if I'm not going to.
You already forgot.
Yeah. Were we all thinking the same thing right there? You forgot what theater you went to?
Wasn't it like?
No, I just figured he was watching it in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's where I do it. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much stuff going on, man. Don't give me all the crap. I go to different theaters like every other time. It's like one with my brother and then one with my dad and then one with Garrett. And then the one I go to is like by myself. Like, leave me alone.
That's fair. He's going to different places.
Yeah.
It's only been out a week.
2 weeks.
Goes to different places.
2 weeks.
All right. Was that the end of your experience?
Yeah, if I keep going, you'll just tell me to stop lagging on.
I did.
I know you, Johnny.
So
man.
I had a date night. Went with this hottie.
Wow.
Smoking hot date. It was great experience. It was very difficult to keep my hands in popcorn and watching the movie.
Vivi, are you okay with this? Like, we don't even know who he's talking about. Like, is there something? Do we have to have a talk?
No. So yeah, Vivi and I watched the movie together. Of course, we had a date night. We had grandma watching little Grayson there, and it was a nice little time away. Typically, we watch movies, as you guys know, at drive-ins, which, although fun and very inexpensive, and the ability is given to like watch 2 movies. Usually we only watch 1, but whatever.
I watched
well, yes, that's the honest thing to do.
Yeah, Vivi watches only half.
Because she says, "Let's go home."
That does happen.
I
Yeah.
fall asleep.
This time we got to watch in an actual theater. Went to a Regals. We too got it for free.
Grayson wasn't climbing all over me.
Yeah, she could actually. She wasn't a jungle gym. So it was a better experience. Seats were good. All the recliners and stuff. Not much as far as the experience. There wasn't really laughter. Wasn't a big crowd, a normal crowd. We barely had people sitting to our left or right.
There were some kids that
Yeah,
were enjoying it. They were laughing and making comments.
Yeah, it was a decent little theater experience. Okay, that's out of the way. Let's get into the movie.
Okay, why did she eat her son?
I don't know.
What was up with
that?
So,
Garrett,
what was that like representing?
Going right into the short.
So Garrett is he is referencing Bao, which is a short film that takes place before the beginning of Incredibles 2. And another quick side note, before Bao, they had a quick little intro with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
What the heck is his name?
All the other
Brad
actors.
Bird.
Holly Hunter, Craig T. Nelson, saying like, hey, it's been a long time. We know you guys were anxious, but here's the movie. And without further ado, here's Incredibles 2.
And here's Bao.
Yeah, and then here's Bao. I'm like, you just said without further ado, now you have a 12-minute like short movie or whatever.
I think it
wow.
was in the wrong order.
Is it now
Yeah.
set in China?
But yeah, so Bao was a short film, coming before Incredibles 2. It pretty much was a older, I believe, I'll just say Asian,
I believe it's
Pan
Chinese.
American. I don't know with the, probably Chinese. Yeah. Based on the food that they were eating.
Yeah.
A Chinese woman, older, and they're eating like dumplings, and one of the dumplings comes to life as she's trying to devour it.
For
Baby dumpling.
No reason.
Right, for no reason.
Just
No-
this particular one has been gifted life.
It was cute though.
It was very cute. Rather than run screaming for her life in fear, she decides to essentially adopt it. It grows up.
Well, she did run in fear at first.
No, she just
Her
looked at
first
it
instinct was
to
she
throw
was
it
freaked
down.
out.
Yeah, she threw it down after it screamed, and then she looked at it.
Yeah.
Within
It grew its legs.
yeah, it grew. Within mere seconds, it went from "oh my gosh, what is this" to "oh how cute." And as audience members, that's fine, but in real life, I don't know if you'd react that way.
Uh-huh.
I would have been like, more food.
Yeah. So anyway, she
And
goes
growing little
through
legs and
all
stuff.
of the I guess the seasons of parenthood where it's a baby and she's taking care of it and it's falling, then it grows up and wants to like play with other kids and
was
skins its
cute.
knee.
Yeah,
it was very
making
cute.
measurements against the wall.
He begins to get older and becomes less attached to mom and begins to kind of be honestly a little bit
It
rude.
was so sad.
A little rude, disrespectful. Yeah, it was sad. As a mom, I'm
It's
sure
gonna
that
happen one day.
he better not act disrespectful to his mom like that.
No, not that.
Adolescence.
He's just not gonna want to hang out with me.
No, he will not. It's gonna happen.
I'm
And
preparing myself now.
yeah, the dumpling ends up getting a wife apparently.
On the spot.
She's into some weird stuff.
I feel like, what is this lady into? That she's gonna marry a dumpling. And then as he's leaving her to attach to another woman, Mom eats the dumpling and then, full of regret, begins crying.
That
Why
was
did
sad.
she eat it?
It was sad.
That
It
was
was
sad.
weird. Yeah.
Say, why did she eat it?
Yeah. What did
That was a better
symbolize?
scenario.
Let me just finish real quick.
Fine.
At the end, as she's crying in regret that she ate her baby dumpling, Dad comes home with grown, real human son who consoles Mom, and they make up, and then
Eat donuts
they
together.
eat donuts as they
That
were
was their
doing
thing,
throughout their
yeah.
life.
Looks exactly like dumpling.
He does look like
Human
dumpling.
dumpling.
Yeah.
And all is well as they've reconciled with son, and now the wife is brought into kind of the circle of the family. a little bit.
That was cute.
So, all right, now let's
Yeah,
deliberate.
that was
Just
cute.
we got 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Fair.
Go.
It was a short. No, just I think the thing with the eating eating of the son was a reference to Zeus and Cronus. No, not really. It was the only way, the only thing that came to mind to try and just continue being with her son. And I think that's just like, this is the only way. You're not leaving me. You know, you're staying with me. And I think that's just kind of the first thing that came to mind.
The way I took it, she did it out of anger. She like so messed up. You're not going anywhere. I'm gonna just put you in my mouth and
Yeah.
keep you there. And then it's like, oh God, it's actually food. And
I was like, she can't get him back. How are they going to solve this problem?
In the theater, she's like,
Give her
is she
couple.
gonna poop him out? I'm like, baby.
Dude, one person, some guy in the back row went, "What the?"
That's how I felt. I was like, what the heck happened?
Just the whole audience.
got
Everyone
dark
was
real
quiet.
quick.
Yeah,
Real
dude.
quick. My dad was like, oh.
It was it was definitely pretty dark.
It happened all so fast.
Anyone else have some
that
thoughts
was her
on
little baby?
it was her baby dumpling.
glasses
food
and
now.
all. Yeah.
You know, I thought about it a little bit, and I realized I don't know why they used the dumpling or if it really came to life. I don't think it did. I think it was in her mind as she was like eating. She was daydreaming or something. But essentially, she ate him, and I think that symbolized that when it really happened with her real son, it was words she could not take back. She said something to him in that moment when he was trying to leave the door.
Was it irreversible?
Yeah, like almost irreversible. Like, don't come back. I hate you. Or if you leave now, something of that nature. Yeah. And she regretted it. And Dad made it right.
What I'm starting to think,
As
and,
dads do.
and this just came to me, is I think what happened with everything that we saw with the dumpling and the mom really happened with a son already in the past, years ago. And I think she's kind of just reliving it with this dumpling. And then that's why when there's that kind of sudden, the dark moment.
So you think that the dumpling was real?
I think, yeah.
That really happened.
The dumpling was real. Everything that happened with the dumpling happened.
In real
That
life.
was her child when it was a human baby, and everything that they experienced was her remembering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like what Johnny said.
Yes. Yeah.
It
the
wasn't
dump-
like an actual dumpling.
It was not an actual
That was
dumpling.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
I
what
took
you're
the same
saying.
thing.
That is what
a
I
dumpling
just said.
yeah.
Okay. Well, you worded it weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, it's not
All right,
just me.
continue.
But yeah, no, just that I think, so yeah, the eating, Johnny, as you had stated earlier, was something that, like that moment, that rift, that kind of, that pushed him away and he left. And then it's been all this time. And then, when the human son comes back, that was him making contact for the first time and, you know, them getting over it and apologizing. It's a weird kind of, this is when we entered, the life. This is when we entered it. Between the argument happened before we watched it, and then the reconciling was what we witnessed.
Not a word, but close enough. We got the gist.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you
like
good,
that.
Garrett. Don't let him condescend you like that.
I was just telling the truth. It was interesting though. Not as heartfelt and fun as some of the previous shorts that have been in
I
front
thought
of.
it was.
Really? Okay.
I thought it was pretty heartfelt.
And when I
The
look,
only
yeah.
thing that threw me off was when she ate it,
yeah,
but they kind of brought it all back together.
Yeah, it all made sense in the end.
Yeah.
The dad showed up twice in the movie.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna
The short film.
he's working hard, man.
I mean, he's not even there like during dinner time, or he's not around.
He's working. He's pulling a double
Yeah, well, I didn't see him work.
because he was working.
Well, it was also really quiet at the beginning when they were at the table.
Yeah.
When it first started. Maybe it just shows that she had become kind of bitter and they didn't really talk to each other because of her feelings.
That's
With
why
the
the man's
son,
pulling
yes.
doubles.
No, I'm
Sadly.
surprised he didn't leave then. I don't know.
But yeah, that's Bao.
All right, cool. Now getting into The Incredibles 2. So again, this is 14 years in the making, long time in between. And it kickstarts pretty much right at the beginning. The end of number 1 is the beginning of number 2. It shows the battle with the Underminer. I'm just gonna quickly, cliff notes this so we can go over the first act. They stop that battle. Essentially, they cause more harm than good by trying to stop him. And once again, superheroes are called into question as if they are better left in the dark, not brought back to legal status. Some eccentric billionaire, some other one, a different one this time, also wants to bring supers back in his own way by marketing them and showing via GoPro camera type things or streaming what they do, second by second, so people can see their decisions and understand the pressures they have, so they can't go and point fingers at them. And they choose Elastigirl over Frozone and Mr. Incredible as the first superhero to do this, just because of her abilities and lack of insurance issues and destruction. Much to the consternation of Mr. Incredible and the excitement of Elastigirl. And there's a role reversal there now where he has to take care of the kids and she is out doing the superheroing. So thoughts on that first act there?
I thought, they seeing that whole family fight that giant drill, and trying to save the city, that kind of thing. You can really see where Mr. Incredible's limited. There's so many more applications with Dash and Violet and of course Elastigirl, but Mr. Incredible, in my opinion, seemed like he could not keep up. He did not have very many applications. Just try and stop Big Thing. He failed, destroy the city some more, trying to use his feet as brakes. And to me, honestly, I think going with Elastigirl was, the better choice because Mr. Incredible, to me, seems limited.
Okay, cool. Interesting thought. Go ahead, Joshua.
Oh, okay. Well, what Garrett said, I like how the family gets together and, this is still kind of new to them. They haven't really showcased their powers with each other's, where they're working as a team and they know how to work together like a superhero family. So they're still learning as they go. And you find that, you see that in the beginning of the movie. And I think going into when, Elastigirl gets chosen, it really does change the dynamic. I think in my opinion, I think they overshadowed it a bit much compared to how we would contrast it in real life, where it's okay, clearly they're saying, okay, this is what a woman can do, and this is what, we're not limiting her to doing, which is great. And then they flip the role where it's okay, if you're a man and you've never taken care of a kid or you've never been put in this situation, can you do it? And I think maybe I'm just reading into it too much. I think they focused a lot on that, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but when you look at it or at least when I looked at it, I was they're really deep diving into the emotional part of it, where he's really stressing out, I can't do this. This is not how you do math. And other stuff that I think would actually happen in a real world application.
Cool. So I think honestly that was one of the better things about it. Was a superhero movie, but it wasn't. It was showing superhero things, but it was really showing family and different dynamics. Because there's this, atomic nuclear family type thing where man works, woman takes care of kids and supports husband. And we're in 2018. That's not all the way it is. Most families, both people are working or dad's at home. There's not just this, male does this, female does that, children do these things.
Yeah, very 50s.
Yeah, it's just not the way it is anymore. Can do just as well at these things as men, and then B, honestly, raising kids is a job, and it's not require the same business acumen or mental capacity or physical strength to do, but just the sheer consistency of it all day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every single issue and problem in the family. It's a lot of work. And I thought they did a really good job in showing that, he has to deal with this. And so that was pretty cool. And the Elastigirl thing I thought was awesome just because, they showed her super capable.
She was really cool in that movie.
Really capable as far as her power set. So,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
that
was so
detaches
cool.
and she uses her
She looked
abilities
like a weenie
to use pendulum to get to higher areas and just having that application too. Like if
So
okay.
it was, she's had one before or
Yeah.
something similar. I don't know.
so she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
got her license.
Yeah, so she, where they showcase what you would normally consider to not be like overpowered abilities in unique ways where, wow, that's a really good ability. Because if you think about, oh, I can stretch, like, when you think about it just like organically, just straightforward, it doesn't
Like,
seem
what
like,
can you do with that?
yeah, I could punch far, I guess. I can bend things, under things. Like, it's not really that cool. But when they show her, like, you know, you said weenie dog with her bike or using it as a pendulum to swing up to things or,
Yeah, gliding,
Yeah.
turning to a parachute.
yeah, it's really cool. And I just appreciate that they took the
Or
time.
when she went into the tunnel and she had
Oh, yeah.
one wheel on one side and one on the other, and she was
Over the
riding,
train?
yeah, right over the train.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
It was good stuff. Or just like, you know, unlocking doors. She put her hand under the door and like unlocked a bunch of latches. And we're kind of getting a little in the second act here, but yeah, I think it was a strong opening. The only thing I actually have a problem with, and I'm going to highlight this in all 3 points where it happens, is I'm really tired of in these incredible movies of giant thing. We have to stop giant thing from crashing into building. That happens all too often in these films, and they use, I know why they use it, and we'll get into that later, but this is number one with this Underminer's vehicle, and I wish they would find another way to have some other crisis besides giant thing is going to destroy the city and we have to stop it from moving. It's a little played out for me. I don't know how you guys feel.
It doesn't really bother me that much, but I do see it being used often.
They use it a lot, right? Like,
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it doesn't bother me, I guess.
that's fine. As long
Yeah,
as
it
you
doesn't bother me.
as long as
you
you can-
mentioned
Yeah,
all
yeah.
3 earlier when we
yeah,
discussed it.
as long as you
I
can
can
tell
think
that
of 2.
they keep going back to it. They just keep doing it.
By the way, Underminer got away.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
They showed
and
it.
then they showed him in the credits.
Yeah, they showed him his little Underminer thing.
And then did you wait after the credits?
Well, there's nothing at the very tail end.
There's nothing. I figured there'd be some short thing like, oh, don't worry guys, we got him.
Does Disney
We got
or
him,
Pixar do
Underminer.
that?
Apparently not.
Pixar doesn't really do that, but we did. I think everyone did kind of expect it just because.
That's
you know,
a loose end.
Well, yeah. So, well, not just that, but like, you know, they're gonna clearly have another a number 3. There's no question on that.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Another 14
They
years.
they will have another 3 for sure.
The credit roll was good enough for what they put in it, but we'll get to
Yeah.
that later.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. So, anything else for that first act from any of you guys you want to highlight?
Dash and Violet arguing over who's going to take care of Jack Jack.
Yeah, that's super
Passing him off.
super irresponsible.
That's
Yeah.
what kids do.
Yeah, siblings.
But it was cool because they showed it at the beginning, and I guess I'm kind of getting to the end, but you saw the transition and how they became more responsible.
Yeah, yes.
And
I
then
think there was
who's
a
the
point in that.
I don't know, the inspector guy, the guy that's behind the scenes, the MIB agent.
Agent Rickard.
Yeah,
It might be.
yeah, he's he
He
has a little
reminded
flashy
me
thing.
of what's his name from Men in Black.
Okay,
Agent K?
Yeah,
I
isn't
assume?
is that the same actor?
No.
No.
Oh, he
No,
looked
but I
like
can
it.
see the
Tommy Lee Jones.
similarities.
Yeah.
but it was interesting how they use that as a sequence where they take I forget the boy's name,
Dash.
No.
Tony Ridinger.
the boyfriend or
Tony
not the boyfriend,
Ridinger.
the kid is what I meant. So yeah, they
That's his name in the movie.
okay, yeah. You just threw a name at me, but they utilize him in the very beginning, and that kind of sequences throughout the movie and has an effect on what actually happens in the family relationship.
Yeah, I actually dislike that quite a bit in regards to keeping that the thing that Violet has to focus on. Like, we've already done this. Like, let's move on with something else for
I don't
her.
know if we
What do
actually
you
have done
mean?
that.
Well, they've already shown her dealing with Tony and her ability to, interact and have a better social understanding of like who she is and being comfortable in her own skin and dealing with boys. I just would have
Oh, the
preferred.
first movie?
Yeah, I would have preferred for them to not have her center on boys in a film that's so set on female empowerment, because that's really what it was. To have her, in my opinion, to have her story be about, well, this boy doesn't remember me or like me anymore, and I don't understand why. Oh wait, it's your fault, Dad. Like,
She's still a teenager.
there's other things
Yeah, I
teenagers go
think
through.
that's just
But that's a big part
that's
of
a
it.
very common thing that a young girl goes through.
We've already gone
And
through
they
it.
also showed, I think they also used it to show how like the dad had to learn how to help her out.
Dad, Mr. Incredible had to cope with a few different things with each child.
Yeah,
and that was one.
his with Violet.
Yep. Okay, cool. We'll probably get back to that. Act 2, the second, the middle part of the movie there, Elastigirl's dealing with Screenslaver and working to kind of stop him from doing whatever he's trying to do. We can kind of discuss what you guys think was the overall plan for him. Robert is at home taking care of the kids. Jack gets powers, dealing with that.
Fights a raccoon.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of my favorite
Best
scenes.
scene in the movie.
That was so funny.
Dash is dealing with math. Violet's dealing with her boyfriend. And things are
crush.
progressing. Was that?
Her crush.
Yeah, her crush.
They were in a
Yeah.
cool house that has every utility.
They did have a cool house.
Dash put the remote down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couches falling in the little mini river.
So
and
many
stuff.
buttons.
So I think they did some good things here. I mean, they showed Elastigirl really kind of excel at what she was doing, garnering fans and support and attention. I also like the other side of it, where it to me it was a huge win, like to show Bob have some problems, Mr. Incredible have some problems dealing with the family life, but then really like step up to the plate, like him to wake up at 4 a.m. to work on math and then teach his son how to do it. Him like staying up with the baby, like even though he made mistakes trying to help Violet, like they didn't show him like bumbling stupid dad who can't do anything. It was like, you know what?
Giving up or
Exactly.
stepping out.
Exactly. Or calling her or just making a complete muddle of everything.
Baby, one num num. Baby, num num.
They showed him make mistakes as anyone would, but then he continued to learn from those mistakes, which was to me really cool. Like I loved that little piece where he got up out of bed, took extra time and taught his son how to do math. Like good for you, dude.
How do you guys feel about that? I think you being a dad, maybe it resonated a little more with you.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it because it's more of the fact that he wants to help. And he's like, I don't know how to do this. So in order to help my son, I have to learn and I have to do it because his wife is just gone. So I like how he took the initiative. He learned it overnight and even woke up his son early to take the initiative to practice it with him before they had to go to school. So
Right.
went that extra mile.
Though the end result is, him learning, him stepping up to the plate and everything. That's how it ended. I don't think that's how it began. I don't think he went in wanting I want to be a super dad and I want to help my family. I think him trying to step up to the plate and trying to prove that he can do this stems from Elastigirl being picked over him. And I think it was more kind of like not malicious, but I think it wasn't as pure thoughts or intentions.
He was trying to live up to his incredible name.
I think that's
His super. He wanted to show that he can do it all.
yes.
And even though he's not out on the field fighting bad guys, he can still do what she does at home.
Yes.
Right.
That's how it started,
Right.
or that's how it transitions.
That was his mindset at the beginning.
No, to me, his
No?
his mindset at the beginning was, why was she picked over me? Why, am I not good enough kind of thing? Let me step up and show you that I can do it too. Though he wanted to help his family, I think it kind of came more from a negative side at first.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was like prideful.
Okay, yeah. I'm just reinstating what the McIntyres are saying all day.
I think
But you
guys-
worded it a little better. Yeah, that's what I meant.
I think actually you guys have different points. I
Are
think
you sure?
Yeah, I think so. I think what Gare's trying to say is he was doing it more so because he needed her to do her thing so that later he could do his thing as a hero. So he had to succeed so that she could succeed, not to come home. So eventually he can get what he wants. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I am going with so that he gets what he wants, but I think it was more of like
Trying to prove himself?
Yes, trying to prove
I think we're on the
himself.
same page.
He was trying to one up.
Yes.
He was trying to one up his wife. And that's why it didn't work, where he was trying to okay, I can do this. No, I got it. I'm going to handle it. I'm going to do it. And then he fails at it miserably. And then I think he has a moment where he realizes, I can't do this because I'm trying to prove something. I need to do it because I
Right.
need to be a good dad.
Yeah, I love my
Exactly.
kids and I need to do this for
and,
them.
and once he realized, you know what? It's not about my pride. It's not about an ego. It's about doing it as a father, not as an incredible.
Right.
And then he realizes that, and then it turns into the learning experience where,
exactly.
okay, this is a little easier. I get it. And it clicked for him.
Exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you, Joshua.
I'm not a McIntyre. I got it.
So let's get into the Jack fight. Jack versus the raccoon.
It's the best scene in the
It was
entire
so
movie.
funny.
The best extended scene.
He was so
I
cute.
didn't know who to root for. On one hand, it's my
What?
man Jack, but it's a raccoon.
And it all
love
started because
raccoon.
Oh,
the
that's so
raccoon
true.
was taunting him while trying to get some food out of a trash can.
Was it? Or was Jack just interested in the
He
raccoon?
was interested, and then the raccoon was just like,
Well, no, what it was,
remember how it started
was that
then.
he was watching TV,
Yeah.
and it was a cop and robber kind of thing.
Oh,
The
that's
robber
right.
had the
He
mask.
saw
Oh,
the
yeah.
mask.
And so then he looks outside, sees the raccoon. Raccoons have the black fur near their eyes. Looks
So
like a
he thought,
bandit.
oh, that's my villain.
Exactly.
yeah, he's stealing from the trash can.
he
Because the
came
robber
out.
was robbing a bank, right?
Yeah. Oh,
He
yeah.
came out there. He came out there, got rid of the raccoon, jumps off or whatever, gets his food. He wipes it away, uses his mind to close the lid, and like, there, stay out. He's so authoritative, this baby.
It was
Yeah.
so cute.
I like the fact that he like he's a toddler. He grabbed the chicken wing and like baby threw it back in the trash can. And when he telekinesed the
lid.
like you could see his eyes, like his eyebrows going up and down because he could barely control it. Like, it was pretty good. Yeah, I think that was a pretty good little fun scene. It could have went really bad for Jack. Raccoons ain't nothing to play with, man. Like,
No, rabies, man.
yeah, they're vicious creatures.
The raccoon that got nothing on superpowers.
And yeah, right. And man, he's a force to be reckoned
And it
with.
seemed like he had like super skin or something because they were like literally fighting each other.
Yeah.
He was clawing at him, and
Yeah,
Jack was fine.
Nothing was happening.
So I think he does have super skin. It's
has-
another power.
Jack's OP. I think
he
we
is.
can all agree on that. Nerf Jack.
We've seen him. I mean, in that scene alone, he was able to phase through walls. He had telekinesis.
We
The
try to count them all.
the
Really.
goblin ape monster.
Yeah, eye
Laser
lasers,
eyes.
Yeah, he had,
turns into
the laser
fire.
eyes. He had
Levitate.
fire.
shadow clone jutsu.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I said when it happened. He just needs to do the
yeah.
face.
He had at least 6 or 7 powers in that scene alone. There's a few others that popped up throughout the movie.
Yep.
Yep.
I think they were implying that he's just getting more and more. Didn't Edna say that babies usually like exhibit a lot of powers? Not as much as he did, but multiple, and then they finally just get one.
Yeah, so she does make the point to say that it's not uncommon for super babies to display
Multiple.
more than one power.
But not as much as him.
But she says that no one showcases all of these powers. So I think they're
Yeah.
hinting that he will have many powers
Well, I
in
hope
some
so.
way.
Right.
I hope so. I hope that I didn't actually mean Nerf Jack.
Yeah, they won't. they probably won't. It seems like his power is to have many powers.
That's got to be a hard thing to deal with, like as a parent.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, your kid just going to another dimension, and you to bribe him with a cookie to come back. And on top of him multiplying, now which one's the actual real one?
Turns into fire when you don't give him a cookie.
Exactly?
You gotta use a device to track them.
Oh, like that has to be a nightmare. You know, not only are you dealing with like an infant or a toddler at this point.
Sorry. Why are you apologizing to me? He's not my baby.
Well, I mean, some parents are like, he's actually like 4.8
He's not my
years
baby.
old, you know, or something like that. But you know, so, I'm not a parent, all right?
How old's your child? 32 months.
Yeah, I can't.
No.
I can't stand that.
Child
You
is
were
hitting-
doing the months though.
I've never done
Someone
that.
asked how old is Grace, and you gave months.
I did it one time on
I
accident.
think 15 is the max. After 15, you have to
Okay,
say.
then you're okay.
Like,
No, after 12.
We're there.
No,
yeah,
but
that's
after
what I
12.
say. He's one. He's one.
Yeah, I typically just say he's like a month, a year and a couple months or something like that.
it's easier to say 13 months.
It is easy, but don't make me do math. Like, just tell me how
it's
old your
easy
baby
to
is.
say one.
You don't have to be embarrassed
Born
if you
March.
don't know math.
Yeah.
I mean, Robert couldn't do it, but
Well,
he
I mean-
figured it out.
Hey, they're changing up math, man.
I
that was about Common Core.
I love that reference because when someone told me Common Core what it was like 6 months ago, I didn't know what the hell.
That
they
is
were-
terrible.
Yeah, this is not how I learned it.
No, this is how they want us to do it, Dad.
And I think that's, I mean, Vivi, I mean,
Did they mention Common Core in the movie?
They didn't. They
it was
didn't actually.
But that's what
say
they were
it,
implying.
But that's what they're implying.
Oh, I totally missed it.
Yeah,
I think I was dozing
math
off.
changed. Why would they change math? Math is math, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, in today's society, I think they teach Common Core in the schools now. Or
They're
at least
trying
maybe
to
some schools.
get kids to understand like
And
the
then the
number
kids have to
sense,
teach the
or
parents.
get number sense.
Yeah, and how the kids are supposed to teach the parents. The parents don't know how to do it.
Yeah, they don't have number sense themselves.
Yeah. Mm.
So getting back into the Act 2 there, we already talked a little bit about Elastigirl's, her heroic saving of the train. That is just pointing this out. That's the second time now in this movie that they've had to stop a runaway thing from destroying something.
I wouldn't have counted that as a giant thing.
It's a
It's a
hyper-
train.
Come on.
It's a train. Yeah,
It's
but
a giant thing.
But when I think of like giant thing, giant robot, you know,
Monsters.
there's the giant drill machine. There's the thing at the end. Train is just runaway train to me. It's a catastrophe still, but I don't count that as stop the giant thing.
Well, what is it then? Stop the little thing?
No, it's stop the train.
A train is a giant thing.
Okay,
If that was a plane, okay.
We're getting into semantics now.
What's bigger, a plane or a train?
the plane.
Absolutely not.
Okay, we can just say stop the thing from hitting the building.
That's
What plane are you thinking of when you say
fine.
plane?
If I'm saying every train, okay, if you look at an individual train, like one caboose or one,
The train is longer
Yeah,
than a
so
plane, but the plane is
altogether-
bigger.
altogether, there's more mass to a.
Wait, no. Well, I mean, what's big?
A
Size.
plane.
Long, short, or not
No,
short, but
massive.
long, wide.
Like in, yeah, I'd say wide. Like
so
a plane.
a train, if a train is really long, that counts as big.
It's long in like one direction though. Like it's long in a straight line.
There's more weight and mass to a train than there is to
There
a
are
plane.
different ways to define big.
I guess, yeah.
Either way, if I'm doing semantics, so are you. So let me rephrase.
No, you brought this up.
Yeah. So, well, you said I'm doing semantics with the giant. Let's just cut out giant and stop big thing or stop a runaway thing from crashing into buildings.
There
That's
you
what they
go.
keep doing. So
That's what he
not
meant.
giant.
Yeah.
This is number 2 in this same movie. Of
Okay.
stop.
Okay.
Stop
Say
thing.
go back like 10 minutes and say they keep doing stop runaway thing.
Well,
and then we can delete
I'll edit
this.
it. I'll edit it. But either way, this is now the
Bonus
second
content.
time in 35 minutes of movies that, here's another problem for Super. The only problem they seem to deal with is stop thing that's running away from crashing into something else.
I mean, I don't think they can actually do like, Jokers sent out toxic gas and people are dying.
She can't stop a bank robbery.
They
That would
tried,
be nice.
and they failed.
Well, they kind of did it with Screenslaver.
Slaver. By the way, it's a stupid name in my opinion.
You're
Yeah.
100% wrong. I love that.
You like the name?
Yes.
I mean, it's-
Screenslaver
I
was
It
get
said
it, but-
screensaver, but slaver.
I get it, but I don't like
You're
it.
the slave of the screen.
Screenslaver.
You make slaves out of anyone who looks at the screen.
Okay.
Screen slaver.
I mean, I get it. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
I'm fair.
It's such a great play on words. Like that's just it. That's why I liked it. It was a great play on words. It sounded good. I think that honestly, Marvel and DC are like, why didn't we think of this?
I don't know about
No.
that. And I mean, technically, I guess Marvel can take credit for that because they're like, we're part of Disney, so yeah, that's on us.
No, they cannot. Yeah, so I mean, talking about Screenslaver and his power, so he pretty much hypnotizes people into doing his bidding, essentially. I mean, if that was a real power, that'd be a real problem. But really, I didn't understand the character's motives. Like, what was his actual point?
Well, getting back to like who he really is.
No, we'll skip
Not
the
yet.
twist for now. Just as far as the
bad
character, he has a monologue. And just quick side note on this monologue, that's a terrible spot to put the monologue. As she's trying to track him down and like doing all this actiony stuff, they have him monologuing in the background explaining what he's doing and why. And I did hear it all, but I could see a lot of people just not comprehending
listening
it,
to it, yeah.
because they're watching the set.
That's
they're
probably
paying
me.
attention. That
So-
was me.
What was it?
Yeah, because I'm
What
paying
did I
attention to
not
Elastigirl.
comprehend?
I'm like, what is Elastigirl doing?
So essentially, Screenslaver is saying that people are watching screens too much, and they're not living
I heard
life.
part of it.
Instead of playing games, people are watching game shows. Instead of playing sports, they watch sports. Instead of going out and experiencing life,
There's a lot of truth in what
you
he
watch
said.
television. It's making us weaker as a society because instead of experiencing things, we are living vicariously through what people give us, and only through that. And
I
so
actually liked his motive.
he's looking to,
That's always a good
tear
villain.
down society. But if that's the case, what was he doing? Like, what does it do for his cause to mess with Elastigirl, or to like kill the ambassador for?
Well, I think it was like the behind the scene objective of the person who
Yeah. It
was
was
a fake-
controlling,
it was a
who's
fake
really
motive.
screenslaver.
It was
Yeah.
a fake
Yeah.
motive.
That was secondary.
Right.
The slaving and telling people that you're looking at TV too much, that was secondary.
Right.
That was a means to
another
end.
Different
end.
ends.
Yes,
But
yeah.
but essentially, right? Like, if Screenslaver was just what
About
his
that.
motives were,
Uh-huh.
that makes no sense for him to act in that way.
Not exactly, because the way I see it is if unless Screenslaver is hypnotizing every single person during that monologue, if he was hypnotizing and people weren't registering what he was saying, then yes, that's useless. But if you put in the fear or notion that, hey, if I watch this TV, I could get hypnotized, I can do crimes, that kind of thing. I think most people probably wouldn't watch TV.
Okay. I can see that. People are going to be afraid of looking at screens.
Yeah. Side note, we don't know until afterwards that Screenslaver can control minds. Because at first it's just putting people in a daze and a stance where they don't move, they don't see, they're just completely hypnotized. After the scene where Elastigirl comes in, then you find out, okay, I'm using this person to control them.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that before.
That's fair.
That's a good point. They don't actually show that for quite a bit. All right, so moving into the third act, and then after that, just so you guys are aware what's coming next, we'll kind of just discuss the movie in general, any random topics that pop up. Some of the ideals of the movie. Act 3, Elastigirl does learn that it's a twist. Screenslaver is actually, what the heck is her name? What's that lady's name?
The sister of the rich guy.
The Mrs. Dever, whatever her first name is. One of the Dever siblings. Let me see if I can find it here. Evelyn. There we go. Evelyn Dever. That's actually a pretty good name. Anyway.
I think she was really cool. I was kind of sad to find that she was the villain, just because she was such a strong female character. She was really good with technology. She was like the brains behind her brother's business.
Yeah.
I loved it.
You see what happens when you give women the ability to use technology? No, you just can't do that. Kidding, ladies. Kidding, please. Don't take that seriously.
Not associated with the Super Club Squad whatsoever.
Ladies' thoughts, ideals, and comments are not associated representative of the Super Club Squad in any way, shape, or form. So we do find out Evelyn Dever is Screenslaver, and her motives are very much in line, for different reasons, but very much in line with Syndrome, in that she wants to end supers in some way. And for her, it was very personal, because her father's faith in supers and people that she felt that were given status just because of something that they could do was misplaced, and it ended up costing him his life.
And his wife.
Like a few months later, yeah.
Heartbreak, yeah.
And so she now wants to make sure that supers can never come back, because she feels that people are stronger having faith in themselves to get things done, rather than allowing the few mighty people to
come save them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And her brother feels the exact opposite, and that he feels that the world is worse without people standing up for what's right. If they have the power to do so, they should be allowed to do it.
See, to me, they're both right. They're both right in their own way. With Evelyn, if you said, he could have put Mother in the panic room rather than trying to call the superheroes and everything. That would have solved that problem. Call the police, that kind of thing. You want to help people. There's nothing wrong with helping people. That's the right thing to do. Definitely. But I can see why she was hurt, and I can see why she would want people themselves to stand on their own.
Yeah, it's not only that, but the fact that her dad died because he took it upon someone else to save them rather than make his own choice. Like, he was relying on somebody else, and he couldn't just do something. It's like, well, let me, rather than, try to defend myself or figure something out, I need to call for help.
Right.
Like, you can't always rely on somebody else to do everything for you. And that's kind of the depiction that she has.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right, it does make sense. She just didn't really come to terms with it and realize that, I mean, you can have both. You don't have to just... Sorry.
All
No, you're
supers are
fine.
bad.
I think you're right. You can have both. Honestly, he's an idiot. Because I don't know who that second hero was. Sorry, Dad was an idiot. I don't know who the second hero was, but Gazer Beam has laser eye. He doesn't
Also, didn't they say that the lines had already been cut off?
The lines were dead. Yeah.
So why would he go to the phone if the lines are dead?
He didn't know.
That's not what happened.
It was.
he didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that prior to.
No.
Well, where are you getting, Johnny?
What they said was he called and no one answered.
Yeah, it was a dial tone.
No. Because no one answered. Not because the lines were gone. It was because no one answered.
Picked up.
No one picked up.
I'd like to watch that again.
That would have been a ring. It was literally
They had cut the lines.
They had cut the line.
The whole point. If that were the case, she would have no reason.
She doesn't know that the lines were cut.
Who's telling the story then?
She's telling the story, but from her perspective, Dad went to call. No one came. No one came because no one answered because they couldn't.
Then how do you know the lines were cut?
Because
they mentioned it
when we had the actual vision or of what the entail. Will you stop doing that?
I'm just waiting for the answer.
I know, but you keep going. Yeah. Like trying to catch me at every word.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for you to give me the answer.
When from our perspective, we get the true vision of what actually happened. She doesn't know that no one picked up because the line was dead.
We never had a true vision. The only time that they show a flashback is during the time where Winston Dever is saying what happened and she's in the room with him. We never see a flashback that actually happened. It's only from the perspective of the sibling. That's the only time that we get that. And he says no one picked up. And he says no one picked up because the supers were now illegal. That's why Winston feels the super should have been legal, because he felt in his dad's time of need, because they were not allowed to come, they didn't. And she feels they didn't come because you can't put your faith in just a few people. The line worked. No one answered.
I disagree.
Okay.
From what I remember, that line, that was a bit like a busy tone, like the lines were cut.
That's what I if that's the case, then there's no reason for her to be angry at the supers.
Well, because she doesn't know.
I don't think
she does know, because Winston's telling her the story. The story's coming from him, and when he finishes, she says he should have went to the panic room. She doesn't know if the lines were cut. How could she be angry at the supers for that?
Because the story is Dad went to call.
Because
no one
Dad
came.
was not capable of doing something himself.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys are wrong on this one, but when the movie comes out on DVD, or we can catch a stream online, you'll see that it wasn't that the lines were cut.
No, just pay for
watch it again.
Just go pay the movie right now to watch it a second time.
That will not happen.
Prove your ego right.
Either way, that is essentially why she hated supers. And she's more wrong than right. She's not completely wrong, but people who have the ability to do things should be able to help people. If I'm a superhero with superpowers, I should be able to assist people. And that doesn't discount the fact that your dad's an idiot.
I think she's just deeply hurt and she never came to terms with it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's just it. And she is wrong.
Yeah, she's wrong. Plus her, again, Gazer Beam doesn't have super speed. So why would you call Gazer Beam in the first place?
Well, it's the same as if calling the cops. The cops don't have super speed. The cops are going to get there when they can't get there.
That's
so
true.
Call somebody.
But if you're looking to call a superhero, call someone with super speed, or go to your panic room.
No one even remembers the second guy, but he only had 2 lines.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
That was his go-to.
I don't know. I think he
was it Dynamo?
No, it was not. I think he was definitely dumb. Yeah. So that happened. Robert gets taken over by Screenslaver, or at this point Evelyn Dever. Frozone does, as well as the kids escape, as the new heroes look to pretty much wrap up all the loose ends. And we then have a crazy fight scene on a boat with a bunch of ambassadors who she's going to look to pretty much kill so that supers can never come back. And yet another thing is stopped from crashing into another building.
Well, the city. And this time it would have been way worse.
Buildings.
Would have been way worse.
It doesn't matter. It's still a building, or plurals buildings. So go. Thoughts on the final act there?
It was cool. You get to have this the kids get to fight a bunch of super villains, or heroes that were turned into villains by mind control. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
except for the guy that can vomit lava. That was kind of
that was gross.
The dude was gross.
I think it was cool how, going back to what we said at the beginning, they were kind of childish, irresponsible at the beginning, and at the end, Violet's like, we're all they have. You know, we have to step up to this. We're the only heroes that are available to go save our parents and, you know, stop whatever's going on with this villain. So you see that transition in their, I don't know, the way they're thinking. They're more responsible.
That character development.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They care for Jack. They're taking care of him now.
Yeah, and I feel that carries over from the first movie because they had a similar situation where they were stranded on their own because mom left to go try to find dad. And they were just like, what are we going to do? And they got kicked out of the cave by a rocket blast. And then they had to pretty much grow up there. And now they're doing the same thing, but now you have a baby involved. So now you got to step it up again. And even then they were still arguing who takes Jack, but then Jack found a new power. It just went bye-bye.
But I think Dash kind of accepted it. He stayed there with Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying until Jack kind of just went through the wall.
Yeah, that new power. He got one of those super giant mushrooms in New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was another power.
I think the big twist on that, not even twist, the big turn was Violet was being the older, mature, pretty much doing what mom was doing. Like, I'm going to go survey the area. You stay here. Like, let the adult do the big kid work and just, I'm going to go tour around, make sure everything's okay, which is usually what parents do first if there's a bad situation. And so it's like, you watch Jack, because I can't watch Jack and try to figure out what's going on.
I mean, it also makes sense because she turns invisible.
Yeah, that's true too.
They had some things in that final act just with her I just did not like. Like, if you have the ability to turn invisible, why are you walking around visible?
No, yeah.
Unless there's something that they've not told us where she can't do it all the time, or there's a timer.
Or she ran into the plant, so maybe it disrupted
that
her.
I thought was dumb. Like, you're invisible, you can go wherever you want. There's no one around you. You knocked over a plant.
That's fine. I mean, you can run into something.
You're okay with that?
But why? If you
But I was
saying
she ran into it, so maybe I don't know, she kind of got distracted and she lost her concentration.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But later, there's a point where she's just walking around visible, and then Void just pops out like, "Ha, I found you." But at that point, why are you visible? Like,
for the viewers, she can't be invisible all the time, because then we wouldn't know what we're looking at.
Then give her a shimmer or something. Like, I don't know.
But then anyone can see
active camo.
Yeah, or give her a shimmer that we can't see. Like, they do that.
Halo.
They do that in like Marvel comics with Invisible Woman, where we know she's invisible, but there's a shimmer on the page of her outline, so we, the reader, know she's there.
Wait, but you're saying that it would be too overpowered because she can just
It's
go.
a kids movie, man.
Don't do that. Don't take like a defense that, oh, well, it's a kids movie, so you can allow for bad things, because other movies like Toy Story and great films don't do that. You can make a great kids film without making excuses for plot holes.
Okay, let's take it how it is. She's a kid. She's still learning how to do it.
And that's more fair. If that's the case, maybe she did just not control her power or didn't think someone could see her. I don't think that's true, but at least that's a defense. Don't give me the defense.
So what's your truth?
Don't give me the defense of, well, it's a children's movie, so just let everything slide.
Yeah, man.
But I can take that one. Maybe she is a kid and she was scared or was looking around and turned her power off. That's possible.
Well, she's still learning her powers. So.
Yeah, that's true. She did do some cool things with her powers. I like the fact that they really made her like shield more offensive. She used them more than just protecting in a little bubble. Oh, please don't hurt me. She was like cutting things with them or like knocking people out. It was good stuff, I thought.
It's a good fight scene.
She leveled up.
Yeah. I think though that I would have liked to see more of an actual like fight where each person got a chance to display their powers a bit. They had some pretty cool stuff with Frozone when he went to protect the kids. And I can't lie, I thought it was sick how he just walked in there like, I'm a beast, like, come mess with me. And, they still fought, and it was like 5-on-1, so he lost, but.
Like, oh, we're here to protect the kids. That's funny, that's why Deckard sent me.
Yeah.
He closes the door, and he's like.
Yeah, I was happy he didn't just, fall for it.
Yeah.
They made him think.
No. Frozone knows what's up.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, he got a nice little scene. But in that last act, really, Mr. Incredible, Dash, even Violet really didn't get in my opinion, a great scene in that last battle in the main hangar driving area of the boat, whatever you want to call it, the main deck. It just I didn't get a chance to see them showcased the way I would have liked.
Yeah, because the movie wasn't about them.
See, and I get that, But the same way, like Frozone got a quick hot second, or Void got a quick hot second, you could see her powers, different things. You could have had Dash like run really fast and take off like two people's, goggles, or Violet like do something interesting, just a second or two, just to see it. Or even like I was telling Vivi before, there's the part where Mr. Incredible is fighting Rick, the big like doofus looking.
Sorry,
dude.
who?
Rick.
Brick?
His name is Rick.
No, it's Brick.
Are you sure it's
Yeah,
Rick?
it's Brick.
Yeah, it's Brick.
It is Brick.
I thought
the whole time.
I thought the joke was because he's a big old dumb doofus that he just had his name as like
No, he's
his
some
superhero
regular name.
Yeah.
he's like
No.
he's like a wall.
You're looking too much into it. His name was Brick.
Well, anyway, Mr. Incredible is fighting him, and he pretty much loses. Like you could have given him that 1 second to fight that guy and like knock him crazily out, and instead like he's losing the fight and he has to get help from everybody. Like that, I just would have liked to see that. Like Dash really didn't do anything. I never saw him display like actual super speed in the film.
No, not really. Not at least offensively. I mean, to get from point A to point B, of course, and get, people out of danger, the old lady. But
Washing
yeah,
his hands or pretending like he is.
he didn't do much. I don't know. I don't know if that was the decision or just kind of how things fell out. But to me anyway, I feel like the males of the Incredible Family did not get a lot.
And
Yeah, they
in the
focus more
movie.
on the females.
And that's
I think that
that's
was
good.
really cool. We talked about it before, and I had mentioned that it was really good for them to kind of they always show like the male characters doing, all these cool fight scenes and saving the day. So now it was the females' turn, and they got the spotlight.
Yeah, they did.
But Johnny did make the point that, I mean, they could have at least had one scene where they did something cool.
just 5 seconds. Just he's fighting Brick. And, just show him like, take a couple punches, get knocked into the wall, get up, like dust off his chin and just like pow, 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 and take off the glasses. Like that would have been enough for me. Just, okay, he got his due.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. I thought it was a little anticlimactic too in the last little fight with, Evelyn Dever against, Elastigirl, where she pretty much shot her with, a flare gun and knock her out the window of the ship of
The plane, right?
airplane.
Yeah.
it was interesting. I did like, her trying to save her. I thought that was pretty cool and interesting, and just, it showed her character. And then I feel like they're going to do something with Void.
Oh, for sure.
They're going to have a spin-off
Void
movie
was so awesome.
or a TV show. I think they're going to have a TV show, and they are for sure
because they
gonna have
focused on her a little more than the others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they're going to have a third film, and I'll explain why at the end. You just make sure you remind me, but they will for sure have a third movie. But yeah, I mean, all that was cool. Just the I can't get down with the ending being, here's something else going to crash. Please stop it. We saved the day by stopping something from moving. That's my take.
Well, the way I see that is that it's kind of like the Superman problem, where like, since nothing can hurt Superman never really, the story, I get that that's played out, and that happens, 3 times in this movie, but, that's just kind of like the obstacle that has to be put in front of the actors.
Yeah, I feel that's lazy. I mean,
it is.
Yeah, they could have had a situation where, I mean, the point of that whole encounter on the ship was to put the ambassadors in harm, so that, pretty much you're killing a bunch of world leaders, so that now supers will never come back.
Yeah.
And each ambassador had a hero that was there with them. There was like the plus and minus person and all those people that really didn't do anything in the movie.
Would you have been happy if that stayed the same, but they weren't going towards the city?
Yeah, so instead of them like, let's crash them into the city, maybe they're just on a regular building at some sort of Senate building or some sort of World Trade Center type thing, and now the Incredibles and Frozone and maybe Void and a few others who get their goggles removed have to save the ambassadors, and they have fights against other heroes and remove goggles.
Well, that's kind of like what happened on the ship.
It was partially, but they could have made that a little bit broader and bigger. I thought that they didn't show enough of some of the people's powers. Like, they showed Crunch do a little bit of crunching, or...
Sorry, who?
Isn't it Crunch?
Crush. Maybe Crusher.
Okay, well, there we go.
Crunch. Okay.
Can't you uncrush it? Uncrush? Why would I uncrush?
How do I unthrow? Do you unthrow a punch?
Yeah, I thought they could have went somewhere else at the end there, but overall, I thought it wrapped up pretty nicely. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think it wrapped up nicely, except for, the Underminer got away.
Yeah, Underminer did.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have to talk about the fourth big thing where they have to stop the helicopter from crashing, but
Do you see it though?
I see it.
Yeah.
I totally get it, like I said.
Yeah, thank you, Josh.
No, I don't
Welcome. I gave you
remember.
one.
We're not often on the same page, brother.
Yeah,
but
Was there a
I get it.
helicopter? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's how the ambassador did the first time. He was just
Oh,
stuck in the helicopter.
yeah. One of the helicopters got hacked.
Yep.
And last thing for me, just before we get into just general stuff, I really appreciated that when Evelyn Dever was looking to escape, it wasn't like, okay, let's go, Mr. Incredible. The family was like, go get her, like finish your mission. Thought that was, it was pretty heavy-handed writing, but it proved a point and it showed something that I think is important. So I like that a lot.
What show?
Well, it showed that, women can take the spotlight.
Yeah.
At this point, Mr. Incredible wasn't looking to be like, I'm here now. Stand back, Helen. I've got this.
Right.
This is your mission. This was your duty. Go finish it. I got
She had
the kids.
the ability to fulfill it.
Yeah, exactly. I still got the kids. You go take care of what you got to take care of.
And take care of she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my favorite message from the whole movie.
It was, yeah. So I want to get into some ideas of the movie, some themes. Before we do that, let's go into some random stuff, just fun stuff, funny stuff, interesting stuff, dumb stuff, whatever you guys thought. Let's get into some of that stuff.
Void was really cool.
Okay.
I was really happy with Void.
Yeah.
And it's cool because when you first meet her and she's first introduced to Elastigirl, she's like freaking out. Like, what do I say? She's getting that
She's
kind
all
of fan.
nervous.
Exactly. And it's like, that would totally happen in like a world with superheroes. Whether you're superpowered or not, you have that person that you look up to, that person, when you were young and you're like, oh, I want to be like them. And so here she is fangirling and just getting nervous. And on top of just having a really cool power with a lot of applications, she's still getting used to it. There's still some things that, she's working the kinks out of, but, definitely we will be seeing more of Void. I don't know if a TV show or a spin-off movie, but we'll definitely be seeing more Void.
Well, if not a spin-off movie or TV show, then what?
The Incredibles 3.
The next
You
movie?
just said you didn't think there was going to be an Incredibles
That was
3.
literally a joke. Of course there's going to be another Incredibles.
You did not say with any sarcasm in your voice or anything.
When your sarcasm is so advanced, people think you're stupid.
No, it's not that you're stupid. Just maybe you just thought that. You think a lot of weird things.
That's saying something because that's my trophy.
My bad. I'm gonna let you keep that.
Okay, I'll take it back. Thanks. Edna was interesting. Just the fact that she was like, "What are you doing, bringing this child over to me? Oh, he's got this power and this power. What?"
Well, she's a scientist.
Yeah, but
She was so
it
intrigued.
was just funny that all of a sudden she does
Fashion.
this 180. No, it's okay, sweetie. Just leave the baby with me. Go ahead and just do your own thing. I got him all week.
She was excited.
Yeah, oh,
She
yeah.
had this new project.
I've always
Run some tests.
I've always appreciated that that's a man's voice.
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought it was funny. You told me. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. One of the executive producers.
I
just-
loved when Robert came back to pick up Jack, and he's like walking, instead of having
Yeah,
a cigarette, it's like a
so funny.
lollipop, and
Imitating
imitating Edna.
Doing the
whole-
exact same thing. Robert's just like, what?
She
Flaunting his arms.
she coded him into her security system. It was like
Oh my gosh, that
voice
was
recognition.
awesome.
Ba, ba.
She's
He
smiling
did
the
all
whole
like
time.
4 steps.
Yeah, it was pretty good. As funny as that scene was, and I did enjoy it, it really wasn't necessary. It was really honestly just thrown in to just have an Edna scene. It wasn't important to the plot. It didn't progress the movie. It was funny for sure.
I disagree.
I also disagree. You go ahead.
I disagree because what she does is she, for the most part, figures out and learns what abilities he can do. She manufactures a suit that can support all those abilities, and she gives him the tracker so that way he can see when he's going to explode, when Jack's going to explode into an angry furnace, track him in the lost dimension or the other dimension, and then any other power that's about to be, they can see that before it happens.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, having a toddler is hard enough, but having a toddler with all these powers, I mean, they had to have some way of helping the parents out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like we talked about it before, if they don't do anything about it, and I don't know, Jack and the family dynamic is is normal. Even though he has all these superpowers, he doesn't get hurt. There's no way of controlling him. Like, it wouldn't seem real to me.
I mean, there's still no way to control him. Like, they couldn't stop his powers. The only one that could really actually influence anything was the flame retardant like stuff. But other than that, they couldn't stop him from doing anything. You just knew what was coming next.
No, but you'd have the tool of the dimension. They taught you to find him.
Yeah, just that one power. What about laser eyes? What about flying? What about turning into the monster, the Dr. Jekyll monster? What about multiplying? Like,
well, at least they tried.
I'm just saying that it really wasn't actually, like, everyone's arguing was very helpful, and it really was only helpful for 1.5 powers.
That we know of. I mean, there could have been more that maybe there is a way to pull all the babies back together when there's multiple babies. We weren't
maybe
told,
she
but
could be working on it. Or
it's possible.
She'll be improving it, but at least there was work towards harnessing him.
It was just not, it was not useful in this movie. It broke as well. So.
It broke?
Yeah.
The tracker.
It breaks in half.
Oh, the tablet thing.
Yeah,
not the suit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't useful in the end. It was really not something that they use as a device to do anything besides a couple of times show that they could find him. And I get your point, Vivi, saying that, well, it was a way for the audience to be okay with him being in danger or whatever, because they have a way to prevent some of that. But there were other ways to go about that. And it didn't do enough to progress the plot or change anything. She could have just put a better suit on him.
Yeah, it's totally an Edna scene. You had to have Edna in there.
Yeah, or it could have literally been something where the suit will control his powers, or the suit will allow for his powers to be minimized when needed, or whatever. Like,
the suit turns into what? Cotton candy flavored gel when he goes in the flames.
But what would have been another solution? Like, what's his name? Bob?
yeah.
The dad? So Bob's at home struggling with the kids. They each have their own issues. And then there's this issue with Jack. What was the other solution?
Yeah, so the solution that
he needed help. Like,
the solution that I came to, and we talked about it a little bit,
Shrink
was
the baby.
if you need Edna, and I think Edna was needed in the film, I think it could have been revised a bit. Rather than have this device that really, honestly, let's just be honest. I mean, I'd like to hear you answer. Was it really useful? Because it broke and they only used it. Again, maybe only because we only saw 2 powers, but he used multiple powers and they didn't use the tablet in those situations after they had it. So it really didn't help them, or they chose not to use it. Whatever the reason.
They did use the flame retardant after they got it.
They used it on that.
when he was going up the elevator.
Again, they used it just to track where he was, and they used it on 2 powers. But there were several powers that they showcased him using with the tablet available that were not used.
I don't think at that time they were looking to rein in Jack.
Why not? When the baby turns to a giant baby, not a good time?
Had he shown that power yet?
It doesn't matter. If it turns to a giant baby, I'm gonna use this tracker, this device to help me deal with his powers.
Well, but that's a new power, so they'd have to go back and say, okay, now he has this power. Can we update this?
She knows his powers.
That was
not all of them though.
I don't think she knew that power.
Yeah, he kept getting newer powers.
That was a brand new power that we have not seen in that movie until that point.
Giant fat.
Yeah, that was the first time that happened.
That doesn't mean that she didn't see it,
or it does.
She would have showcased it if she saw it. She went over every power that she knew of.
And she said that he's showing more powers.
I think it's pretty slippery that, again, it's still, it is. The tracker, it all does is track him. Why couldn't anyone put a tracking chip on him?
Well, it did more than track him. That was the device that they used.
It only did 2 other things
that we know of.
Yeah, but we after they got the tracker, we saw him exhibit other powers that they could not stop. Like, they could not stop him from turning into a monster baby. They could not stop him from turning into multiple man baby. So
multiple man.
What does the tracker do in those situations?
It alerts you before it happens.
And what then?
That's it. It's so to prepare you that something is about to happen with this baby. It's not made to stop the baby.
I also don't think they were trying to stop the baby. I don't think when he turns into Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde baby, that was when they were in a hostile,
just Mr. Hyde baby.
When they were in a hostile, territory with enemies. Jack, go. Activate.
I think it was a waste of time, and I think honestly the answer was easy. Just say his powers prevent him from being hurt. As a baby, he's in a situation. If he's in danger, his body will regulate to the power that's going to defend him. That's it. Boom. If he's in danger, wherever he's at, and then I feel.
So you think Edna should have made that? I don't know.
the writer should have wrote that in,
Diagnosis.
and then that would have allowed for us to feel safe again, like, right? If you're saying that, well, we needed a way as an audience and for the family, so we know the family is protecting him. If his powers protect him, then that's not an issue. And then that would have been a really cool scene at the end, maybe when they're fighting.
I think that's nitpicking it. I kind of like the device that she made.
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that it was a waste of screen time, and it was really contrived to put that in for Edna to do that whole like let's have a super suit go through this, her treadmill again. That's all I'm saying. It was just written in just to be there, because you could have taken the tracker out and nothing would have changed for the movie, right? What would have changed?
Well, that was the way he solved. That was like going back to how his experience with being a dad at home. He had to find a way to help Jack.
Okay.
Or to help himself with Jack. So that was the solution. There had to be some solution, and that was it.
Okay.
Maybe there are others that you think might have been better, but
that's why Robert came to Edna.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
He had no one else to go to.
It wasn't to get the baby battle ready. It was, I need some help babysitting. I need some help with this baby.
Yeah,
he has powers.
That's fair.
And then she kind of did extra.
Yeah, I still don't think that it was well done. It was poorly written. Is all I'm saying.
All right, agree to disagree. We can move on to another topic now.
Yep.
Feel free. This is your point to go over everything, random general topics.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that they had a car that did all those cool stuff.
You didn't know that he had an Incredible car?
Not until they told me. And then they brought it back.
Was it in the first movie?
It was in the first movie.
I don't remember doing anything, though.
Well, you just watched it.
Yeah.
In the bathroom.
I don't recall doing anything. I didn't say I watched the whole thing in the bathroom. I just said I went to the bathroom and then I watched the movie. Not necessarily all at the same time. Putting words in my mouth. It was cool that they brought the car back, especially utilizing it, when Robert gets upset because it's being auctioned off. And he's like, that's my car! And there's nothing he can do about it. He's like, I guess they sold my car.
What was up with Dash wanting to shoot the rockets? There are civilians there. He's like, no, kill him, blow him up. No.
They didn't even address it. He was just like, I don't know what Bob said. But Bob should have said, there are innocent people there. We don't know who's going to shoot.
He's like, no, just shoot the rocket in this room full of people. Crazy kid.
Yeah, there's a couple little weird things that happened in the movie.
It was funny at the end though, when, I don't know, I think the car drove up to them and Dash was like, he did this little thing like, this is my car.
My sweet ride.
Yeah, and Bob made him give the control up.
Oh, no, yeah, that was
really funny.
Frozone came and said, speak to the car, and they would do voice recognition, and it acknowledged them. And it was just funny that every time Dash was like, oh, I wish this car could follow them to the boat, and follow the boat. It would transform.
How are we going to get up there? Oh, man, it'd be cool if these things had ejector seats. Ejector seats activated.
One of the funniest scenes in that movie to me was when Bob takes the kids to the restaurant to meet
the boy,
reintroduce Tony. And the water just shoots out of Violet's nose. That was so funny.
Pretty intense. She was
angry.
It's a terrible dad decision.
It's a typical dad decision.
Yeah.
Though. I think it was a typical one.
It was a typically terrible decision.
Yeah.
He just made it awkward because he's just playing cool. Like, yep, that's a thing. That's my son right there. That's Dash. And he's Dash like, what's up? Playing it all cool. Like, that's my sister. Just like waving at her and stuff. Just, yeah, that's what little brothers do.
I always dislike in movies, it happens to animation a lot, where characters will shake with their left hand. It bothers me to no end.
That happens?
I never noticed that.
It happened twice. Both times Dash tried to shake Tony's hand, he shook with the left hand.
What are you doing when you're watching movies?
Watching the movie.
You find all these little things that no one will ever notice.
Why?
It's like you're looking, hey, I wonder if they're going to shake left hands today.
Trust me, many people notice.
I'm sure there's a reason.
Have you read about it?
Why they do that?
That it happens?
It doesn't happen in every animated film, but it just happens sometimes. And I'm like,
you're clearly looking for it.
No, it's just noticeable. Like if someone reaches their left hand out if someone walked up to you and said, hi, my name is Joe, and they pulled their left hand out, you'd be like,
that is weird though.
What do you do?
Is there an explanation?
No, it is weird. Just that you notice it, I guess, is a thing. But
that's weird too.
I never cared to know.
To me, yeah, I'm with you, Joshua. But to me, I think there's some reason for it. Maybe it's easier to animate, easier to draw.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe.
I'm sure it has something to do with that, but I
Still don't
never
care.
even noticed it.
I don't care. I'm gonna just call it out.
Well, I don't care that it's easier or harder. Like if you're making a movie,
Does it
Do
bother
it
you?
make
right?
it right. Yeah, like just make it right.
But who says it's right?
Maybe in this universe, shaking with the left hand's also okay.
Fine. If they want to come out and say that, yeah, in this universe, everyone shakes with their left hand.
I don't think they have to come out and say that.
Yeah, that's
You
what
are
you don't
you
like.
and maybe like
Just
two other
accept it.
people are
Says
checking
the
this thing
guy
out.
that doesn't believe that BB-8 gave a thumbs up after
That was
after the director said it.
Well, he's not going to say, yeah, BB-8 flipped that guy off.
He would.
No. He has to stay family friendly. I'm sure under like some Disney contract or
You're
something
still
like
sticking
that.
to that,
Yeah,
man?
He brought it up.
you're ridiculous, Garrett. That's
Yeah, but
completely
BB-8
asinine.
flipped off Flynn.
That's
No,
your perception.
No, he didn't. Okay, you guys got anything else?
I mean, I'm sure I do, but it's just escaping me. I think the fight scene with the screen slaver was pretty cool.
That was actually a pretty brutal fight.
Yeah.
A bit more PG-13 than PG, and I didn't expect it to be like that.
Oh, in the apartment room?
In
the
Screensaver's
cage.
lair.
Yeah.
Cage battle?
Did either of you guys feel, I don't know, uncomfortable or discomfort with the strobing effects?
No, but I was watching. I was like, I don't know if this is like. Don't they say like, be careful because scenes like this are like seizure induced? Like they didn't have a warning.
When I
beginning
I
of the
went to get my ticket, there was a little sign at the front window saying Incredibles 2 is be advised. There are certain scenes that can cause seizures and that kind of thing. And then Disney
Flashing and stuff.
Wow.
Disney not too long ago came out and said, gave the statement that yes, this movie does have some of those effects.
Didn't know that.
Well, just to be fair, since you're the Disney fan, Disney did not do that. Many people complained about it, and then in response to that, Disney made theaters put those placards up.
So
Yes,
it happened
so
after
that's
the
still
first
Disney making the
showing,
statement.
or after it was.
But not beforehand though.
Yeah,
It
they
was
weren't on
previewed?
the
I
ball.
never said that.
No, I think
When did
that's
they do
John's
it though?
point.
They did it
After it came out.
After the movie came out. I just want to
Yeah,
make sure
yeah.
that it's clear that Disney wasn't on the ball. They dropped the ball.
Yes.
And
Yes, they did.
someone else pointed the finger, and then they fixed their error.
Yes, they did.
So just want to make
As-
sure we were
as
aware
they
of
should.
that.
Yeah. One thing that bothered me though, poor kid. Like clearly the dude that went to jail.
Pizza delivery guy?
Yeah, like you didn't show. Like did you get him out of jail? Clearly you knew he wasn't the one.
I think that's implied.
By the end of the movie, I'm sure they let them do that.
Yeah.
I hope so. He was just
Yeah,
trying to
they knew
deliver
who
some
it
pizza.
was. They figured it out.
I mean, how long did it take them to actually catch everything? It was like 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Like,
sad he was in jail.
Pizza
for
Boy's
that
in jail
time.
for like a week.
Well, he's gonna have a nice hefty paycheck when he sues the pants off of everybody for wrongfully imprisoning him.
Ah,
You didn't save my life. You ruined my death.
I really actually I like the fight. The fight with Screensaver in his lair was great with Elastigirl.
I think we can now start saying in her lair.
Well, it was his
Oh,
lair.
yeah, okay.
So-
No. It
Who
wasn't
was,
his
who was
lair.
physically there?
Physically,
Who
it
physically
was
inhabited the lair?
it was the
He
Pizza
did.
Boy.
Yes,
But it's not
his-
the
his
Pizza
lair.
Boy's lair. It's Screenslaver's lair. That
So
the Pizza Boy's in.
the problem that I had is that he is whether he's controlled or not, he's just a pizza delivery boy. So physically, he's not a superhero. He's not super strong. He has no faster abilities. He's not a martial artist. She should have whooped the floor with him. Like they've shown her fight several times, and she kicks
That's
butt.
true. I didn't even think about
She
that.
kicks butt. And yes, I know he got the drop, but it's not like he got the drop and he ran. They fought for a while.
He got the
And
drop?
she should have, yeah, cause he surprised her and was
I got
tasing
it.
her and stuff, but she's way faster than him.
Yeah.
She should have
Are they trying
gotten
to
hurt a
say
little
that
bit.
he was being controlled in a way that gave him fighting abilities?
It's possible. That's
Two-
a possibility.
I have two things about that. One you'll probably be okay with. The other one you will disagree with, but I don't care. One is that, yeah, you got the drop and you had that taser, that wand. I think that was specifically made to fight Elastigirl. It kind of disabled her powers in her joints where she was stuck in it. She couldn't walk for a while. She couldn't throw punches.
Rubber.
That was specifically made to fight Elastigirl.
Well, you're just guessing now.
what if that's just her?
Well,
considering we know who the Screenslaver
Right,
is
exactly.
and who employs Elastigirl,
It's just a taser. But go ahead with your next point.
it was literally, it was like red electricity. That couldn't be just a regular taser.
I think that's a possibility, but it is something that you're
Speculating.
You're just
Speculating.
guessing.
Maybe.
But what's your next point?
The next point is, we don't know. Pizza Guy could have had some martial arts training, could have taken up Taekwondo or Kung Fu or something like that. Maybe he was chosen
Oh my god.
because
Yeah,
you know, had some background
possible.
martial arts
we
training.
also
Luke Cage is sweeping up floors in a barber shop. Like, what is he doing?
also though we've already seen her take on like mercenary soldiers in Incredibles one punch, just pow, knocking these
One
dudes
punch
out.
woman.
So, I mean, if maybe this guy is on their level, maybe he is better. But if he's not better than them, then she should be able to fight him, even with the fact that she got tased and hurt.
Yeah,
It
I'd
could
have to
even-
agree
And
with
she was
that.
blind.
It could even be a
She
thing
was
where,
also
like,
in that little cage where
That's true.
She had to keep her eyes closed.
Yeah, she was being hypnotized.
it could even be a thing where, like, when you're hypnotized, you kind of maybe don't feel pain as much. So maybe, yeah, he's getting punched and everything, but he's hypnotized. He has an objective to fight Elastigirl.
I'll accept that as a strong possibility, probably very probable.
Got one.
So you got one.
Or he was hypnotized to fight through the pain.
Yeah, that's
That too.
what he's saying. Like,
But he said, oh, it's a little bit different.
sorry.
He said he
repeated
didn't feel
cycle.
it. I'm
All
saying
right.
he felt it, but
Yeah.
Fight through the
what's her
pain.
name? Evelyn didn't care.
Yeah, just made him fight through
Yeah.
what he would normally like stop fighting
Yeah,
with.
hit his mind.
Yeah.
He's just like, ow, ow, ow. Oh, stop it. Please stop it. No.
So let's get into some themes here. There's a big theme, and this has been
The Elastigirl theme?
this has been running in Hollywood for a while now.
I thought we were talking about the theme song.
That's what
from
I
the
thought.
characters.
That's where I was going.
That was cool.
It was cool. With female empowerment, a lot of movies are focusing on that with making sure to have strong female characters in roles that are typically for men. And this is a huge role reversal, having Elastigirl take the spotlight. And for the most part, Mr. Incredible was on the sideline the entire movie, which is a very gutsy thing to do considering the first movie is about him. So, thoughts on that?
Well, I like it. Girls kick ass too. And it's cool seeing the like we discussed before, seeing the applications of Elastigirl doing her thing. Void's another cool character. Violet getting better
All
with her
three of them.
powers.
Yeah.
They're all amazing, and it's okay to show that. And as you stated, just right now, Johnny, the first movie was pretty much all about Mr. Incredible and all that. So he got his spotlight already. So, you can put him on the sidelines. Now it's time for Elastigirl to have her time.
My turn? Okay. As I mentioned before, I mean, they threw it out there. They tried to do it subtly, and to me, it wasn't really subtle. And I think where it solidified it, there's a moment when they're having the little party, when the Elastigirl first gets introduced to all the other heroes that are there, and she's talking to Evelyn. They have this one-on-one talk, and they're talking about heroes, they're talking about politics, and they're really well-versed in how they're communicating with each other.
I love that scene,
And
actually.
it was really good because it
cool.
shows that, women don't just kind of sit around and play with the kids all day.
They know things. They're
yeah,
smart.
they're smart.
They have
They're
knowledge.
educated. They know about politics. They
She
understand
knew
the
technology.
culture.
She created all the technology that they were using.
And they had a lot of cool banter where you have two completely different people that understand each other based on just communicating.
That was one of my favorite scenes.
And I think that's very empowering in itself, just to have that type of delivery between two characters that you're learning still. I felt that just the empowerment overall was a little force fed because, as you guys point out, you have Elastigirl, then you have Evelyn, and then you have Violet a little bit more, and then you have Void, where you have, pretty much Jack got most of the spotlight as a male character.
That's
Like you
true.
mentioned, you didn't see Dash. Mr. Incredible had his time. You didn't really see much of the other, heroes, I guess you could say.
So you think it's forced?
I don't think it's forced. I just think the focus is so much more on women that there was no spotlight at all for any of the male characters. So I'm not saying it's a negative to take away.
It's kind of like what you were
from
saying
that.
then. Like at least
we didn't
give
see
them
anything from.
some cool scenes.
Yeah.
Frozen got this thing.
Hey, he had a moment.
Yeah, he did.
He had a moment. That was a pretty cool moment because you had to have him in that character. And you had to, of course, have his wife complain a little bit more.
Well, before you give your point, I think it's really cool that they all had their spotlight and it was more about the female characters, this movie. I needed that as I was growing up as a kid. I would have loved it. And I think little girls need that. So
Oh yeah.
it's
Not
a good
taking anything
thing.
away from that.
But I think I know what you're going to say, Johnny, so go ahead.
Actually, I'm interested. What do you think I'm going to say? I'll tell you, Israel. I'll be completely honest.
Well, I think you're going to say that you agree that they should have their spotlight as female characters to empower younger girls or all women, but you also feel that it should be that the male character shouldn't be undermined the way they were, where they're either is it klutzy? Klutz?
Incapable?
Definitely incapable. Mr. Incredible
Incapable.
didn't do much.
Mr. Incapable.
Was stumbling all the time. So you want the male characters to also have their own cool parts.
You're actually pretty close, a little off on a couple things. So you're right in that I didn't like the klutzy part. I dislike a lot the fact that they have Mr. Incredible always be the butt of comedy, something knocking him out, pushing him here. He trips and falls over things. Like, you don't have to do that to him as a character to showcase
to
that
empower women.
Yeah, or just to showcase he's strong. He's a strong guy, so we can have him fall off the boat and get hit by something really hard, and that's funny. Like, there's other things you can do with the character. In regards to what you're saying, though, about them taking a role with the male characters, I didn't need that. I just would have liked for them to show them do something cool with their powers. As far as Mr. Incredible goes, there was really, at least with this plot, as far as what they were looking to do, have supers come back and they need a face to the company to do so, and Elastigirl's the better option. If they'd have picked Mr. Incredible, there was nowhere developmentally for his character to go. We'd already seen what he wants in the first movie. We saw that I was a hero. I loved it. I want to be a hero again. That's already done. So it would have been a bad idea to put him there to do it again. Whereas, Helen, Elastigirl, she was a hero who did love it, but she's moved on. She's accepted that as her past, and she has a family who she loves and has put that as her main priority, and now has a chance to do something different and maybe go back. And she's looking at it differently. She's not looking at it, well, I want to relive my glory days. She's looking at it, well, this is a way that I can provide for my family, and I love it, but this is for that reason. It's not for me, even though I enjoy it. And that was a better option to go with. I completely agree with that. So, slightly different reasoning there.
He kind of also did get his spotlight, just not as a superhero, but as a dad.
As a dad.
Yeah. So why not accept that? Like,
for me?
Yeah.
Well, it's a superhero movie. I don't need to have him be a spotlight as far as the character development
he's a super dad.
Or the plot. I just wanted him to throw a couple cool punches. Just give me 5 seconds of a punch from him. That's all.
Yeah, I could understand that. You just didn't want him to be that comic relief.
Yeah, it could have been an all-female superhero team with all those same powers. I just would have wanted them to do the powers.
Bob versus Rick.
Like, yeah, I would. And the other thing I think about is that it is a family film about a family of superheroes called The Incredibles. So at some point, I would have liked to see the family fight as a family. Referencing the first film, there's a great scene where it shows Violet, not very well, but fighting in like the jungle, and Dash with just a beastly like speed through the jungle scene. And then later, as they're fighting the giant robot from Syndrome, they're all fighting together, like throwing things, catching. Go long, Dash. He's throwing the receiver. He runs on water. Violet's like dipping and dodging and saving the family.
Were the parents involved in that fight?
They were. And Elastigirl's like picking up sewer drain covers and slingshotting them.
That was cool.
The whole family was fighting as a family. And
that would have been cool to have in this movie.
Yeah, we never saw them do that in this film. They never fought as a family in a movie called The Incredibles. But thematically, I think it was right on point, completely. So
yeah. One thing I thought was ironic is that one of the main reasons why Helen takes the job is because Robert wants her to take the job so that way she can help make him relevant again. So in the beginning, he was not doing it for her. He was doing it for himself.
Is that really what was said?
That was him, like, kind of like, yeah, you should totally do it.
Heavily implicated.
Just in his mind, he's just like, yeah.
Because they even showed, like, on the phone, like, oh, I'm happy for you, honey.
He was jealous.
Yeah. I think he was jealous.
Sure. Yeah, totally.
I saw that part.
Yeah.
But he couldn't wait to get back out.
But did they really imply that he let her do it so that he can come back to it later?
It wasn't implied, more as honestly just openly stated. He tells her, like, take this job because then I can do it later. And they talk about the
Why?
options.
Why does that even make sense?
Well, because they only need one person to be the face
Why
of the
couldn't he
company.
do it?
Because they didn't want
They
him
didn't
at
want him to
first.
do it.
Oh, they didn't want him.
No, because
They-
all is he breaks everything.
They want him.
He's gonna wreck it.
Yeah, they want him
Oh my
later. They
gosh.
want to bring him on the team, but they need one person that they can put as the face of the return of the heroes, and they felt
Okay.
she was it.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But they showcase they have that conversation where he's like, please do it. And you're right, Joshua. He was being selfish. But he doesn't mislead her. He tells her this is what I want, because the other options were one of them gets a day job. So either I get a day job or Helen, you go be a superhero.
Yeah, and he was like, the man should be the one to do the day job. And she was like, well, I can do it too. And that kind of evolves from there.
Yeah.
So I just have something to say, and maybe it's wrong to point it out, but it's actually an attention to detail that I noticed.
What are you doing when you're watching movies, Garrett? You're paying attention to things?
Sometimes.
I took a lot of slack earlier for that.
Not for me.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Go ahead.
Holly Hunter, who voices Helen Parr, she's got a lisp, and that's fine. Everything.
I love her voice.
I was
Yeah, she has a great.
just gonna say
does.
that.
She does, but not. I guess not. But she also has a lisp, and I noticed that when Helen Parr talks, they animate that lisp.
Wait, the actor has a lisp,
The actor has a lisp.
so then they put it into the movie.
Yes, they animate that with Helen.
That's cool.
Yeah, just a little small attention to detail thing I noticed. I'm like, oh, that's neat.
Fun.
I really like her voice every time she'd speak. I don't know why.
Yeah, she has an inflection to her voice that I really enjoy. She was in Batman vs. Superman for a quick minute and blew up.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Where was she?
She was like one of the
Grandma
senators.
Peach Tea or something like that.
She the lawyer?
No,
She
that
was-
was the
Right.
the thing.
She was one of the senators that pretty much didn't like Superman and then blew up in one of the Senate hearings about him going to Africa. She's in there for 15 minutes.
Yeah. One thing that my dad brought up, which didn't really bother me, but I only noticed after my dad noticed it. He's like, didn't they make Elastigirl, a little bit more proportionate in this movie than in the last movie? And I was like, I don't know. Like, yeah, her hips are way too big. I was just like, what?
Oh yeah, her posterior.
Yeah.
It was
They
like
give
that
her-
in the first movie.
They gave her a really big
I
butt.
didn't notice that at all.
That's actually something I wanted to bring up was body image in these films. So we don't really see any heroes have a traditionally hero body image. Not Mr. Incredible, not the Children, not Elastigirl, or any of the heroes that we see that are villains for a hot minute. They're all oddly shaped people. I don't know if that was done on purpose or not, but I definitely noticed it. Even the big people.
She's not that oddly shaped, though.
Well, not necessarily.
I mean, I know it is odd because no human would actually be shaped the way Miss Incredible is shaped, but her features.
Mrs. Incredible.
Yes, Mrs. Incredible. But they highlight, they make the features that are more liked, bigger.
I mean, her butt, I guess.
I didn't notice that at all.
And I don't know, maybe her breasts. Usually they do. I don't know if they did.
She's
No.
pretty normal.
She just had
She doesn't have
really-
a weird shape.
I don't mean weird in that that's ugly, but she wasn't a big bosomed
Not your
extremely super beautiful heroine.
average depiction of superhero.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
Everybody had a body shape that was very different, and yes, Mrs. Incredible, they do give her super long legs and a big butt, but I don't think that's necessarily because they're looking to have her have this sexuality. I think it's because she's supposed to be stretchy, and that's the way they're looking to show that she's stretchy. And maybe it's not the best way, but it is the way.
That does not make sense. So they give her
No,
a big
not
butt.
really, but
I don't
That's
think
where
she
the
has
extra
stretchy
skin
powers.
comes from.
Her legs are really long. Her legs are really, really long. And I think that's their way to show that she's got these powers, but whatever. Either way, she still doesn't depict what is normal for a super heroine, and nor does anybody else. If they, not Void, no hero, not Mr. Incredible. I mean, Frozone's not,
Mr. Incredible's big and buff.
yeah, but he's fat.
Yeah, he's a little on the bigger side.
But that's because he
slims
hasn't
down,
been
That's because he's a
crime
dad.
fighting for a
I mean,
while.
that's fair. You're right, but he's
'Cause
still
he's
fat.
a dad.
Crusher is a big dude, but weirdly proportioned.
Yeah.
He's not
Is he like an underbite or something?
yeah,
like
he
that?
looked weird. The old dude, Void, was just extremely thin.
Violet's really thin.
Yeah, Violet's thin. The owl guy was a freakish monster.
I saw nothing odd about him. He's an owl guy. Twists his head all the way around.
Doesn't look like anything to me. Yeah, so I don't know. Did that matter to you guys? Does it matter that they didn't have anything as far as like something that kids would have to look at and pretty much hold themselves to?
Honestly, I didn't notice.
No.
Maybe
and-
that's a good thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because if it had been, then we would have noticed, and then kids would have noticed, and then they would have felt like they have to live up to that.
Yeah.
It also makes every character unique because they look uniquely different from each other, but at the same time, they look like each other as far as the family. Which, my dad's kind of like the biggest highlight. And he's like, I like how they look like they're a family as far as like looks and appeal. And
Wait, I thought Violet just looks like neither of them.
well, as far as like,
Yeah.
Jack
skin
and
tone.
Dash look like the parents, but Violet doesn't look like either of
Helen
them.
may have had an affair. Like,
that's what you're thinking?
She looks way different.
Third
Whoa,
movie,
yeah.
the Violet's true nature.
Underminer.
Oh boy.
Okay, so a couple more things thematically to get through, and then we'll go through our kind of
Review.
our ending stuff here. So we talked a little bit about just Evelyn Dever. Her name is killing me. I don't know why.
Neither do I.
And her ideas about people not having general population put their trust in a few people to do what's right. Everyone should be responsible for themselves and essentially not place faith in those who have ability. I mean, so you said like, she's partially right. What do you guys think about that in comparison to Winston and his ideas that, people should be able to make a difference?
I believe it's both. I mean, they're both right in those ways, but I will side with Evelyn in a little bit where you shouldn't put all your faith into a couple people because what that does is it strips you of the ability to make your own choices and make your own decisions, especially the hard ones, and you're relying on someone else to do something for you. And then at a certain point, you may not be self-sufficient anymore. And so how are you going to take care of yourself if you're always expecting someone else to take care of you first?
Well, we saw where that path leads of not taking care of yourself and letting other things do it for you. That movie's called WALL-E.
That's it's a different movie.
It's Pixar. There's a theory that all the Pixar movies are connected. But that taking it a bit far. But if I have to pick a side, I'll probably lean on the side for
Pizza Boy from
His
Pizza
name's
Planet.
Winston.
You're making us pick a side?
No, I'm asking
No.
you your opinions.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
liked what you said earlier. It's both.
It is both, but if I'm leaning, I'm okay. I agree with both, but I am leaning more towards Winston's point of view, where if you have superpowers, if you have these incredible gifts and abilities,
Why
and you
not
want to
use
help
them?
people, do it. I understand why supers went out of went not out of business, went illegal in the first place. There are things as damage and just collateral damage and making more of a mess saving something than
Just like Marvel
yes,
with,
just like
the Avengers.
the Civil War and all that. But I would much rather have my life saved
Right.
than not be saved and then my house gets blown up or something like that. It's more important that people live than material things
Right.
survive.
It's worth the collateral damage.
I that's what I think.
Yeah, I look at it a little more broadly that in this specific instance, it's about superheroes, but I look at it more like conforming to society. So, do you go get a day job and do what's expected of you and only look towards those who have been put in power? Or do you go and start your own business and do things outside the norm and try to make a difference on your own? I look at it more like that. Like, Winston's way is, yeah, you need to have those things. You need to have the normal things, but also if you've got the ability to do something amazing, do something amazing. And if that's being a superhero or being a businessman or being whatever, do it. And I look at the other side is like, well, you need to fit in this box and this is what you should do. And don't place your faith outside of that. And I don't like that.
What, Evelyn's point of view?
Evelyn,
I
yeah.
don't see how you get that, but okay.
Yeah, that's what I see. Anything, Joshua, or you already said your piece?
I said my piece.
Cool. One last thing, and then the real last thing.
One more
So,
thing.
Incredibles 1, Incredibles 2. Comparisons, how do you guys feel about it? Which one do you feel was the better movie?
Tough question. My opinion.
Even though I just watched it like a year ago. I guess that's not too fresh. I don't really remember the first one. I don't remember how I felt about it, so I really liked the second one.
Okay.
It was
cool.
fun. I enjoyed it. I love that they, had the female characters in the spotlight. I loved it.
Nice.
I enjoyed watching Elastigirl fight crime and do her stuff more than I enjoyed Mr. Incredible punching things in the first movie. Frozone was still cool. Frozone just stays cool. Ice. So I think I enjoyed the second movie more than the first one.
Well, I kind of watched it back to back, one in the morning, one in the evening. I actually believe that the second movie is more fun. There's a lot more moments that kind of humanize a little bit more. But I feel the first movie, once you get past the first half of that movie, it really all comes together because you get to see a little bit more of the new powers. You get to see more of the family tradition. So I actually like the first movie more as a whole, thematically. The second movie is still really good, though.
Yeah, I'm right on par with you there, JG. I think the first movie is definitely a lot slower and not as exciting as the second. There's no question the Elastigirl's fight scenes and just general movements and chases are way more fun than watching Mr. Incredible. But the back half of the first movie is just pitch perfect. Even with Pixar, you don't get pitch perfect just endings like that. And they just put together that last arc of that first film really well, to the point, and they didn't do that in this second one. Yeah. So my nod goes to the first movie.
Yay!
So 2 for 2 there. 2 out of 2.
Who do you like more, Screenslaver or Syndrome?
Good question.
Screenslaver.
Syndrome by far.
No.
I think
Tell him no.
no. So I think honestly, I probably would have liked Screenslaver better if they wouldn't have pulled the double whammy and been like, oh, it's a twist. He's actually not really a real villain with this real idea. He's just a fake used for someone else's other ulterior motive.
A Mandarin.
I think that was bad, right? That was a problem.
Yeah, that was
I'm saying that's the same thing.
Yeah, but it was also received poorly.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't like it. Now, if he'd have been his own villain for his own sake, if he would have been his own villain for his own sake, and Evelyn would have been on the side of Winston, just a character that developed with Helen, Mrs. Incredible, and maybe, grew because of what she saw Mrs. Incredible do, and Screensaver was his own villain, they actually had to stop him, I would have liked him more than Syndrome. But since he wasn't even a real villain, it was a
I could
fake,
see that.
Syndrome was better.
I would even take it as Screenslaver is its own villain, and then Evelyn is like the mastermind behind it.
That's exactly how I see it. I don't like that. I don't like, oh, well, he's not really a villain. It's just what she was using to pretend to be a villain.
I mean, I would be cool if like Screenslaver was its own villain and then reported to Evelyn.
That'd have been cool too. I would have actually appreciated that more than pretending. Yeah, I agree with that. But I would have liked him to just be his own standalone villain. You don't need to have that double whammy nonsense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good point.
I was really afraid that Winston was in on it though. Cause I really liked Winston. And I'm like, oh no,
the whole time I thought it was him.
He's part of it.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was just trying to create, these crimes for them to fight, to gain more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see Evelyn in the scene, and you're like, oh no, Winston's not there. Oh, he's there.
Yeah, that was exactly. I'm like, oh, okay. Every time you see Screenslaver, you don't see Winston. Oh,
yeah. They couldn't have done that though because that's very, very similar to what they did with Syndrome, where it was the company backing. I think they kind of did this movie too. The company backing Mr. Incredible was a company that was actually behind all the problems.
Yeah.
And they did it again. The company backing Elastigirl was a company that created all the problems. Like,
No, not that far. The company wasn't the one that paid problems. It was specifically Evelyn.
right, but it was still someone with
That's
the
why
company.
you liked it more?
No, I liked it. It was very similar. Yes, I get your point that it wasn't the main person, but it was the number 2 person in the company. Like, it was still someone with all the resources and abilities and technology of the company double crossing them.
Yeah.
And like, this is so similar. Okay, cool. Time for the ratings. Time for ratings to rate this thing. So is it incredible? Is it incredible?
What's your rating?
That's number 1. So we always go, best, mediocre, average, and then garbage, hot crap, booty.
Best, mediocre.
Booty butt.
Mediocre, average is the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so best, average.
Like
horrible.
high tier, average.
So 3, 2, 1.
Horrible. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. So is it incredible? Is it incredible? And then what would be Bill's score?
I don't know. I got the last one though.
All right. Is it? I don't know.
Maybe
what was
undermining.
the average?
No, that's the last one.
No, the last one was just it was a void.
No, but we like Void though.
It was incredible. It was
It took yours.
watchable. I don't know.
Fantastic.
No, that's another terrible.
It's a good word.
It was like Frozen. It was just a fun watch.
Oh,
we like
Frozen's
Frozen.
cool.
That is
Can I see something is okay.
The boy.
Dash.
No, the
Tony.
yeah.
Crunch it.
Yeah. It's Tony, you're just kind of hanging around and
Oh, the guy's name, the old guy throwing up, his name was Reflex.
reflux.
Reflex.
Reflux, not reflex.
Screenslaver.
It's just average. That's it. It's average.
We got nothing.
Okay,
We got nothing.
Yeah.
Is it incredible? Is it average? Or is it
Undermined.
undermined? There we go.
Or you screen
All
slaved
right, who wants to start?
into this movie?
I'll start.
Go ahead.
Just so we can get it going. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I think it was definitely worth the 14-year wait. I loved the themes. I loved seeing just a change, such a change from the first movie, and watching all this action from, Elastigirl's point of view, seeing the way that she fights and seeing how she utilizes her abilities more than we've seen in the first movie. This movie, The Incredibles 2, is incredible.
I'm just gonna go off what you said. I agree. It's incredible.
There you go.
Cool. You want me to go or you want to go?
I'll go. It is an incredible movie. A lot of fun, different tones. I do like a lot of the stuff with Robert and just figuring out what Dad is being like. And they played it off a little bit too much with the butt jokes, as you said, but it was still fun to watch him like try to figure stuff out, especially with the math scene. That got me going, even though it was in like some early trailers. It's just still funny to watch because you can see the frustration, and I enjoyed that. And the movie was just fun overall. It had some good jokes, and I think it was paced pretty well.
And you thought it was average.
So what was your...
I said
rating?
incredible.
He said
You gotta say it at
incredible.
the end. You always do that where you say, it was incredible and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And
Why can't I give my answer first?
you gotta end with it so the listener knows, boom, that's what he's got.
Well, when you're playing a pun on words, it's kind of hard.
Just say it at the end again. So it was incredible, right?
See,
All right, there we go.
Average.
Okay.
It's
So,
not average.
I really enjoyed this film. It had some flaws that are rough for me.
Yeah, they shook with the left hand.
I didn't interrupt any of you as you guys went over your review.
they played a short, and you forgot that Pixar plays shorts.
No one was interrupted by Johnny when they went.
Sorry.
It had some flaws, and I think that for 14 years, some of the writing could have been fixed. A little bit lazy in some areas. I think that that's a problem, especially for Pixar. Like, you have a pedigree of strong films. But some of those are smaller issues. The big thing was the empowerment of Elastigirl. And had it been done where it was just, she's a hero now, Wonder Woman style or Katniss Everdeen where she's just now a beast, I wouldn't have liked it. But the fact that they made sure to do it within her character, and it really wasn't about her looking to be this hero, she was still doing what was best for her family. And sure, she got to enjoy it, but it was still her. And I think that happens a lot with men and women today where honestly it's easy, maybe not easier, but it seems that way where women are able to more easily adapt to lifestyle changes. You know, you're not 21 anymore doing what you want to do. You got a family and they adapt to it, where men sometimes it's just truth where it's harder for them.
They try to hold on.
Yeah, they hold on or they go do dumb stuff. They go buy.
You mean we? You said they.
Men, sorry, cut it. You guys are always interrupting me when I'm. We do dumb stuff sometimes. We buy expensive cars or we try to get into things that we shouldn't, rather than focusing on our families. And they made sure to show those dynamics, with Elastigirl doing what she was doing for her family and Bob learning how to be what his family needed by the end of the film. And I appreciate the fact that they really show those things in a poignant fashion. So this movie gets an incredible from me.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm surprised.
Good.
Yay.
Yep. Cool.
Good job.
All right, guys. Well, that. You see what I got to deal with, guys? Wow. Just you hear it. That's the show, guys. We ran a little long here, but we had a lot of fun, just talking about the movie. As you can see, we all really enjoyed the movie. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. So yeah, a lot of fun. Vivi, it was great having you on the show again.
As always.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. And before we get out of here, guys, thank you for listening. We always appreciate you doing so. If you want to chat with us, please reach out to us by email, contact@scspodcast.net. Also check in with us on Twitter @Super Co-op Squad. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, facebook.com/Super Co-op Squad. And if you want to chat with us individually as well, say hello to any of us, you can do so on Twitter. You can find myself @JohnnyMac24.
You can find me at GJL3275.
And don't forget, I changed my tag at Eternal Red Gamer.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, see you next time. I am Johnny
Eternal
Mac.
Red Gamer.
Yep.
I'm Garrett.
I'm Joshua.
And I'm Vivi Mac.
All right. Enjoy yourself, guys, and stay incredible.
Baby lasers.
Pew pew.